The music industry is filled with hits and misses, and even the most successful artists are not immune to releasing singles that fail to resonate with a broad audience. Final singles in particular often struggle to capture the attention of fans, especially after the initial excitement surrounding an album has cooled off. In this video, we'll look at 10 final singles that flopped. Every Day by Ariana Grande. Every Day is the fourth and final single from Ariana's critically acclaimed album Dangerous Woman. The song that features Future is an upbeat, repetitive track that aimed to capitalize on the success of previous singles like Into You and the title track Dangerous Woman. Despite its energetic production and the star power of both artists, it failed to make a significant impact on the charts. The song peaked at a modest number 55 on the Billboard Hot 100 and did not manage to chart in the UK. In Australia, it reached number 96. The single's underwhelming performance can be attributed to the timing of its release, which came nearly a year after the album's debut, and perhaps a sense of fatigue among fans after a string of successful singles. It could also be that monotonous hook. First Man by Camila Cabello. First Man was the sixth and final single from Camila's sophomore album Romance. Unlike her previous singles, which were primarily upbeat and radio-friendly, First Man was a deeply personal ballad dedicated to her father. The song gained some attention after she performed it at the 2020 Grammy Awards, but this brief moment in the spotlight wasn't enough to propel it up the charts. First Man peaked at number 94 on the Billboard Hot 100, barely making a dent in the chart. It also failed to chart in the UK, and the same in Canada. The song's intimate nature and the lack of broad promotional push likely contributed to its commercial underperformance, making it a touching yet commercially unsuccessful closing chapter for the romance era. Life Goes On by Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's Life Goes On was the third and final single from his fifth studio album Subtract. Following the success of earlier singles like Eyes Closed, which did well on the charts, especially in the UK, Life Goes On marked a sharp contrast in his commercial performance. The song, which deals with themes of resilience and moving forward after loss, received limited promotion and didn't manage to capture widespread attention. It peaked at number 66 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US, marking a rare miss for Mr. Sheeran. In the UK, the single peaked at number 29, which, while respectable, was significantly lower than his usual chart positions. The song's lack of chart success was because of its subdued nature compared to his earlier hits. Drink You Away by Justin Timberlake. Drink You Away was the third and final single from Justin's The 2020 Experience 2 of 2. Unlike the smooth R&B tracks that define much of the album, Drink You Away was a country-tinged pop song, reflecting JT's Memphis roots. Despite its strong performance at the 2015 CMAs, which momentarily boosted the song's visibility, it struggled to gain traction on the charts. It did not chart on the Billboard Hot 100 and on the UK Singles Chart. In Canada, the single fared slightly better, reaching number 85. The song's departure from Justin's typical sound, coupled with its release 2 years after the album's debut, likely contributed to its commercial struggles. Male Fantasy by Billie Eilish. Male Fantasy was the sixth and final single from Billie's sophomore album Happier Than Ever. The song is a melancholic, introspective track that explores themes of loneliness and the impact of unrealistic portrayals of love. Despite its critical acclaim, Male Fantasy failed to make a significant impact on the charts. The song did not chart on the Billboard Hot 100 or the UK Singles Chart. The song's lack of commercial success was because it was released well after the album's most successful singles had already dominated the airwaves. Hey 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 by Katy Perry. Hey 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 was the fifth and final single from Katy's album Witness. The song was an upbeat anthem that aims to empower, but it failed to resonate with a broader audience. Released after the album had already seen a series of underperforming singles, the song was met with lukewarm reception. It did not chart on the Billboard Hot 100 or the UK Singles Chart. The song's playful yet divisive music video didn't do much to elevate its success, and it quickly faded from the public eye. The underwhelming performance of the song further highlighted the struggles Katy faced during the Witness era, which was marked by a noticeable decline in her commercial dominance. Acquainted by The Weeknd. Acquainted was the fifth and final single from The Weeknd's breakthrough album Beauty Behind the Madness. Despite the album's massive success, which included hits like Can't Feel My Face and The Hills. Acquainted failed to replicate the same level of commercial impact. The song, which delves into complex relationship dynamics, peaked at a modest number 60 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 90 on the UK singles chart, and number 79 on the Canadian Hot 100. While still charting, these positions were underwhelming compared to the album's earlier singles. The underwhelming chart performance of Acquainted was likely due to the saturation of the Weeknd's sound on radio at the time, and the fact that the public had already moved on from the album's peak period of popularity. The Last Time by Taylor Swift. The Last Time was the seventh and final single from Taylor's critically acclaimed album Red. The song, a duet with Gary Lightbody of Snow Patrol, is a haunting ballad about a doomed relationship, while Red was a commercial powerhouse, spawning hits like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble. The Last Time struggled to make an impact. It did not chart on the Billboard Hot 100, peaked at number 25 on the UK singles chart, and number 76 on the Canadian Hot 100. Despite the song's emotional depth and strong vocal performances, it failed to perform on the charts. Its release late in the album cycle likely contributed to its lackluster performance. Who Owns My Heart by Miley Cyrus. Who Owns My Heart was the second and final single from Miley's third studio album, Can't Be Tamed. The album marked a significant shift in Miley's image and sound, moving away from her Disney Channel persona and towards a more mature, edgier style. Despite its catchy beat, it struggled to gain traction on the charts. In the US, the single did not chart on the Billboard Hot 100, a surprising outcome given Miley's popularity at the time. The lackluster performance of Who Owns My Heart was because of several factors. The single was released at a time when she was in the midst of a major image transformation, which alienated some of her fans. Additionally, the song's release came shortly after the controversial Can't Be Tamed video, which may have overshadowed the single itself. Hard White by Nicki Minaj. Hard White was the fifth and final single from Nicki's 12th studio album Queen. The album was highly anticipated and featured several successful singles like Chun-Li and Barbie Dreams. However, Hard White, a gritty self-assured track that showcases her rapping ability, failed to replicate the success of her earlier hits. Despite Nicki's established fanbase, the song did not chart on the Billboard Hot 100, marking a significant dip in commercial performance. The single also failed to chart in the UK or in Canada. The song's release was accompanied by a dark, futuristic music video, but even this visual component did not manage to boost its chart performance. The song's darker tone and less commercial sound might have also played a role in the song flopping. What final singles that flopped did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.